I'm going back to the discovery platforms. You'll notice my Unix, Linux, and related, so AIX, there's the Mac, so again, a host full of Unix machines that you're going to be able to discover. Okay, so Dick, I think that takes us to about 10 till. What questions are out there for me to address?
Well, I've got a couple, and good job, by the way. It was very well done. Let me just remind people that if you want to submit a question, the Q&A box is the way to do it. Stacy, let me start out because you discussed first a little bit about these reference libraries, and I think you mentioned there was an extended data pack, and one example that you showed was power management, right? I mean, you showed some servers and how much power they consume. Now, I think that what I got out of that is that we're not actually managing the power consumption. What we're doing is we know what devices are out there, and we know how much power they consume, and then we can build reports that way. Is that correct?
That is correct. That is correct. Okay. So there's the hardware reference data. So here I've just gone and pulled up the quick dashboard, but what it's telling you is, and so the vendor of that hardware publishes this information. That's what's in the extended data pack that we import into the appliance. And so then when we do our discovery and we find that device, then we're able to report these statistics.
So that extended data pack, is that a database of different manufacturers, and I assume that gets updated on a regular basis. Is that right?
Exactly. It is, yes.
Okay. Yep. Okay. And so we get the updates because as new products come out, they have different or varying power levels. That's just as an example. Okay.
Exactly.
The other thing that I really liked was the mapping, and you spent some time and you went through and you talked a little bit about that. I would assume that it does a pretty good job right out of the box mapping all these things, but you would have to go in and then manually make some changes too, right? I mean, what if you wanted to put in physical addresses, right, to find out, well, where are these data centers or where are these servers located? You'd need to go in there and manually add that later. Is that right?
Exactly, so you can. So what we do, and understand when we look for a specific application, let's say it's, let's say it's HR, and HR is only running and hits every piece that's in play or in the puzzle at the end of the month. This is me doing an example. So if I'm doing my discovery at the first of the month, there may be aspects that I miss. So I've got maybe 70% of it done. If I I've got my discovery on a schedule, right, for this specific application. If I run it now at the end of the month, now I went from 70 because everything's running. Maybe at this point now I'm at 90%. And at this point, what's missing that you want to capture is the location, the business owner, etc. That information that's not necessarily captured from ADDM. But yes, at that point, it would make sense to maybe connect to a different data source that has that information, or just enter it, like you say, on into the database manually. But yeah, those are pieces that I have to kind of do beyond what's just part of the discovery for something like an application map, so that it has 100% accuracy versus the 90%.
Yeah, and if something was going to be moved for whatever reason, it would still show up, but you might have to go back and manually put down the new location. Is that right?
That's correct. Now, because the collaborative application map, once I built that map and I've gotten the hardware, if that hardware changes, that's kind of the beauty, then the map is going to reflect that change. But like you mentioned, we're just looking at the hardware and the actual applications. We're not necessarily looking at that location. So then, yes, that's the piece that you may want to do outside of what ADDM is going to discover.
Okay. I have some more questions, but there's some questions that have come in, so I'm going to jump to that, but it just kind of reminded me because we've just been in the process of doing an implementation at a large intelligence agency, and what they've done, and this is really pretty slick, is that they've discovered everything out there, and then you know how it goes. Most organizations, all of a sudden, things show up that surprises you, right? Like, well, where did that come from, right? And so what happens is an alert then is sent to Remedy, and then there's a check to see if there's been a change request done for that particular piece of equipment, and if not, it sends another alert to figure out what just happened, because the whole idea is to make this whole process as efficient as possible.
Yes.
Okay. Well, there was a question that came in that was related to what I was talking about a little bit earlier about that extended data pack. Is that a separate add-on, or is that something that it comes with ADDM?
That's an add-on. So it's an add-on onto ADDM.
Okay.
And I think, here, let me just pull this up really quickly. And if I can remember the slide, I think it had an asterisk on it. But anyway, you can go to the next question, and I'll just bring that up. Yes.
Okay. So this question is next question is issues migrating from 8.3 to 9.0. Is 9.0 the current version?
9.0 is the current version, yes.
Okay. And do you know about if somebody has 8.3, what's the migration path?
It's typically, I think so. There's always the 8.3 dot and then some other 4 or 5 digits off to the side. But that 8.3, you may be able to just do, of course, the backing up, the installation of the new, and then bringing back that old data. But we can double check. But I just need to verify if the 8.3 is just a simple upgrade up to 9,
okay,
or if there's anything else that has to be done.
All right. Well, we have the person's name, so we can get more information, because we may have done some of these migrations already, so we'll be able to better answer that one. Okay. Next question is: are you able to provide patch/package data on Red Hat also?
I'd have to pull up a machine to see if we grab it, and you can also as well see the scripts that are run. So I just have to dig in a little bit and find that one. But yeah, we can do that easily. Yes, here's the first one though. That is an add-on. The reference libraries. That is the add-on. If the screen is still showing. Okay.
Okay. Okay. Are you bringing it up? Yeah.
Yeah, let me see really quickly what we're running on the Linux boxes. And so sometimes the Linux is not as exhaustive as Windows. Packages and process do not see patch there.
Okay. And we might need to do a little bit more research on that too.
Okay.
Okay, well, let's move on. Next question is, how far out to end-user compute can you discover iPhone, iPad, laptop, desktop, printer, MS Office, Adobe, etc.? I didn't know that iPhones and iPads were discoverable. Don't you need MDM or mobile device management tools for that? Or?
Yeah, those may be out of play. The other ones that they listed, printers,
laptop, desktop, printer.
Those. Yep, those are all doable. And again, it's because with the OS that's running on top of the laptop, the desktop, have WMI that we can interrogate to get the information back. With those network devices, then we're hitting SNMP, so we're basically feeding it with that community string, so it's going to be able to reply back. The mobile devices don't utilize that, so there's nothing really we can interrogate at that point. So then, yes, that would bring into play one of the mobile device management solutions.
Okay. What about MS Office and Adobe, software applications then?
Yes, those are there. And so in other words, let me go back to applications. Under this application summary, you may have noticed I just hit the business applications, but I have my software instances over here as well. And this is me. See if we got Adobe out there. We should. So we can see I've got 91 packages, 18 processes. If we go ahead and hit the package. And so there you can see really quickly 5.0 all the way to 9, 11, etc.
Okay. Okay, great. All right, let's go to the next question then. Can this be integrated with a separate CMDB, or does it only work with its own CMDB? Well, I think it's whatever you want to do, right?
Yeah, so this data that we have, we can take it to natively we can take it to the CMDB. If you want to do any other reconciliations to pull it out again, it's an appliance and it's in your environment, and so however you need to connect to it and do that is of course up to your discretion. But this administration and the sync is where you could do that, but there's also that export functionality.
Okay. And that's a pretty common thing, right? If you have a CMDB and then you have ADDM, why not take advantage of the two talk to one another? So, let's figure out what we have that's out there and crack everything.
Yes.
Okay.
And then this slide kind of shows it as well. What slide is this? 17. There you go. Sorry, Dick. Go ahead.
Okay, next question. This looks like the last one. ADDM can relate hosts based on a subnet to a location or OU within a TPL. Can ADDM also do this for BAIs? So there were a lot of acronyms in there. Did you follow that?
So it can do it for a location, and say that again for me?
Or OU within a TPL.
Yes, the TPLs are the pattern language.
Right.
Okay. And so the
OU is organizational units.
Right. But the end of the question was, can we do it for a BAI?
Yeah, can we also do this for BAIs?
So you should be able to, because again, if it's not anything that we know about, you would have to build up the pattern, and inside of your pattern, you can have separate triggers, whatever you want to trigger on once you have your pattern. Maybe if it's OU and you want to capture that, then that would be part of the pattern. But
what's a BAI?
I'm assuming they're talking about a business application instance, but you may get clarity on what they mean by BAI.
Okay. I got it.
But once you come into any of these, and I'll just hit one of them. So I'm going into the business applications on the Configurepedia site, and I was going to grab Oracle. I don't know. Let's say Oracle Financials. Oh, gosh, I didn't get logged in. Well, so once you go in there, and you'll see
run out of time. Yeah.
Yeah, no problem. But you would see the language, and it is a language to learn, but it would basically be at that point where you decide what you want to capture.
Okay. Very good.